Hi, and welcome to another episode of Rob's Triathlon Tips for Beginners. This will be a video where I explain the changes that I've made to my road bike to make it more useful for triathlons. So here's a picture of my bike on the trainer in my basement, in my really messy pain cave, and I've put everything on it. So I'll just sort of walk through the photos of that. So I started with the specialized LA road bike, just the normal one and not elite. So it's a pretty heavy bike, but it's served me well over the years. So scrolling through the photos that I took, these are the bar setups. So I've got here tri bars by Profile Design that I actually got off my wife's bike for free. She did one or two triathlons and then didn't do any more. And so I've got those for free and put them on my bike. They're just clipped onto the bars. And you can see I've got them angled up. Maybe it's a better shot here back here. You can see they're angled up. And that's pretty common now with pros to angle their bars up. It takes pressure off different parts of your back, like your shoulder blades and your traps. It makes you more comfortable on the bikes. So I really like having my bars tipped up as well. It just makes you have less pain when you switch from the bike to the run. Yeah, there are some pros that have their bars down flat and really dial in an aerodynamic position like a professional cyclist in a time trial. But you've got to work on your flexibility to do that, and then you might pay for it on the run with the back pain. I've also got here in between the tri bars a Torhans water bottle, sort of an Aero bottle. It's the smaller Torhans bottle. It's always been big enough for the races that I've done, and it's got a top on it that you can just pull this rubber piece off and stick a water bottle in there, and it drains really quickly into there. And it's even got this kind of funny little straw cover that supposedly makes it more aerodynamic. Oh, and another thing about my tri bars is I have them close together. That's what I like. It also seems to take some pressure off of different parts of my back to have the bars closer together. And that seems pretty common nowadays too. Um, so what's next here? Let's zoom out. Another shot of the bottle. I did try to use, I don't know what you would call it, more of a torpedo style, like horizontal bottle, and it just didn't work for me. I had to spread the bars wider than I like to have them, so I found this solution works great for me. So in terms of storage, I have a couple different things. I have this X-Lab little pouch that's velcroed to the bar here. And I also have down lower, instead of a bottle of water, I've mounted this Torhans container that I have some tools in. I believe this is a water bottle, but it has when you get it, there's a line that you'll see in another photo where you can cut the bottle and turn it into a storage container. And it's a very aerodynamic shape. One thing that people recommend is to not put round water bottles on your bike within the frame because it's not aerodynamic. So I got this thing. It's pretty neat, a useful container. So this is just a picture of sort of what you might put in a bag. I have this sunscreen chapstick. It's something that a lot of people don't think about is that they'll put sunscreen all over their body but not their lips. And those can burn too. Um, so I might get reminded during a race by looking through this bag, oh, I should put some of that on. I have some extra suntan lotion for long rides, some Kleenex, whatever. Like you might put a Tylenol in here. It's whatever it suits your needs. You can put some nutrition in here. You can also put nutrition in the back of your cycling jersey. Typically, they have, three pockets for you to stuff things into. Down below the Torhans storage box, this is what it looks like with it taken out. It's secured into one of the spots for a bottle cage. You can see I put a sticker on that. Like somebody bought me a sticker for my birthday or something. um, there's quite a lot of space inside it. You can see how I took a hacksaw or something and did a rough job of cutting the bottom of the box. And I'll have things like tire levers and different tools in here to help me fix things like maybe my seat post gets loose on the ride or something else is rattling. You might want to be able to fix that during training or in a race. And actually, if it's not very full, you can fit an extra tube in there. If you're not going to do that, then I recommend stuffing it with Kleenex or paper towel. It keeps your tools and things from rattling when you're out on the road, but it's also useful to have some paper towel or Kleenex for if your hands get all nasty from, your chain comes off or something, then you've got that with you. I've also got some other stickers. I've got this right where my face will be if I'm in a aerodynamic position. Shut up, legs. Kind of like a mantra almost when you're on the bike. I've also got swim bike run across the top bar. What else? I purchased a Wahoo speed and cadence sensor for that goes where the back wheel is, and as well, there's a sensor that goes in your pedal. I upgraded my saddle, my seat, to be this one's made by a company called Cobb. I think it's COBB. It's a JOF 55, I believe. It's a split saddle in the front, and that's pretty common in triathlon. You'll see a lot of people with seats like this. It's supposed to take pressure off of your private parts. And I really like the seat. It's comfortable for me. In underneath and behind my Cobb seat, I have this XLab bottle cage, and when you buy these, you've got to match the cage up for compatibility with the saddle, the seat that you purchased. You can't just go and buy any cage and try and make it work. It won't work right. So I bought the seat first, then I got the cage. You can see here you've got space for a couple CO2 cartridges if you get a flat. I'll typically put a bottle of Gatorade in this. It's a more aerodynamic position behind you, behind your butt and your legs to have a bottle than down in your frame. On the other side, you can see you can zip tie a spare tube in case you get a flat on the run or on the ride. Sorry. And then this is something I did that's probably not very common. Specifically here, I'll zoom in on it a little bit. It's some construction tape that I found at work. There was some spare reflective tape lying around. And I just thought, hey, that's kind of neat. I'm going to cut it so that it's pretty much as big as it can be and goes right down to the bottom of the seat post for the right ride height for me. And it'll be like a reflector at night. But the other benefit of this setup is if I have to take my bike apart to ship it to a race, I know my seat height. It's just you just drop it to where the sticker is at the bottom here. You don't have to mark it and worry about getting the seat height right. It's self-explanatory, right? You can't screw it up. And then I also did change out my tires. These are a little wider than my original tires. Let me see here. So this is a picture of the dimensions of my original tires. Got a little bit of red color in them. They were 700 by 23C, and my new ones are 28C. Um, yeah, so you can see it's pretty much as big of a tire as I can fit in the frame of my bike. Uh, and reasons for doing that, besides the fact that your bike looks cooler, I think, with a bigger tire. Number one reason would be comfort. I feel like it's way more comfortable to ride a wider tire when you hit bumps in the road. Um, just it's as though less of that kind of collision energy transfers to your frame and your body. So that's a big benefit. Uh, Apparently, lots of studies have shown that wider tires have less rolling resistance, which sounds counterintuitive, but you know, some smart people figured that out. So theoretically, you should be a little bit faster with wider tires. Um, you also get more contact surface on days where, let's say, it's wet out, so you'll be safer with a wider tire, and there's more contact surface for when you're turning too, and so you should be safer turning. You should probably have better handling as well. So those are the reasons that you might want to upgrade your tires to be wider. A couple notable things that I don't have yet are a power meter, mainly because they're super expensive. So that's why I have this speed and cadence sensor here. So it provides me some data, but not power. Um, if if you do a ride and you upload it to Strava, it's going to extrapolate what it thinks your average power was at least, so you can get data that way. Um, yeah, it's really just a matter of I'm not that big of a data geek, and power meters are really expensive. I haven't upgraded my wheels to be like aero wheels. There's some cheaper companies now, like Wind Space, that I'm kind of intrigued by. I might get some cheap aero wheels and see how they last. I think I would do that before getting a power meter. And another thing that I don't have, also because I don't have a power meter, is a bike computer. This Wahoo fitness sensor can be read by my triathlon watch, which is a Coros pace watch, Coros. And so right from my wrist, I can tell what my speed and cadence are. So why do I need a bike computer if I don't have a power meter too? Um, yeah, and if I'm just training, I'm not in a race, then I'll have my phone with me as well. And so that'll be tracking me on GPS. So again, I don't need a bike computer. So it's kind of a bike computer and a power meter and aero wheels, I would say, are nice to haves for people who just like have the spare change, or are necessary for people who are really serious about getting great at triathlon. Yeah, so that's a tour of my bike. Probably do a separate video about the trainer that I have and how that works with Zwift and Ruby. Hopefully you found that video to be useful, and if you did, please give it a like. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do so, and make sure you select all for notifications to be notified of anytime I upload a video. And please share this video with your friends who may benefit from it. Thanks.